Hello, business finance students. I wanted to show you the stocks of Dow Jones Industrial Average. Do you see this number of 40,000, $41,000? I said dollars. It's just a number. This is think about this as the total number of the values of all the stocks. Just that's one way to look at it. There are 30 stocks, as you all know, in the Dow Jones Industrial, and these 30 stocks excuse me, are the representatives of different industries. Some of them technology, some of them pharmaceutical, some of them finance. And here it is. There are 30 members in here. Out of 30 of them, 22 of them have dropped today, and 8 of them have gained. This is the 8. But overall, when you look at it, they have dropped by, on average, excuse me, they have dropped by 3%. 3% means if on average, if you had, let's say, if you had $100 invested in all of them, let's say $3.03 on each one of them, you would have lost $3, means 3%, you would have lost $3 of your money. Today is a very unusual day in the stock market because of the trade war that is going on between the US and the entire world. As you all know, Trump is increasing the tariffs, the taxes of the countries that they export their products into the US, Canada, Mexico, China, Japan, everybody. Therefore, that creates uncertainty among the countries. And for that reason, these countries, that will impact the prices of the goods and services that the people around the world, including the people in the US, pay for the products. There are some companies that gained. You may be wondering. Look at one of the ones that performed miserably here is Apple. It has dropped by 10%, which means the stocks have been $220 yesterday. It lost by 10%. Now it is around $200. That's a huge drop. That's the one that is dragging also the Dow Jones down significantly. Now you are wondering why this company has gone up by 2% in such a bad situation. This is a pharmaceutical and heavily relying on technology. Why a pharmaceutical company might go up while other companies like Amazon has dropped the gains by significant number, 7%, American Express 8%, and as you see, these are based on the highest drops. And this one of course is Salesforce. And if you see again, Johnson and Johnson is a drug company, and it has gone up by around 2%, 1.84. You may be wondering why Johnson and Johnson, which is a drug company, has gone up, and why Coca-Cola has gone up by 2%, and McDonald's has gone up by 2%. There are certain reasons, and Merck has gone up, and Procter and Gamble, and United Health. Therefore, health goes up in cases like this, and Verizon. And Walmart hasn't changed significantly. Why Walmart hasn't changed? While we know it brings a lot of products from China, and if the products of China is going to be more expensive, why it didn't drop? There are certain reasons. These green ones are known as defensive stocks. Defensive stocks is that you and I are always need medicine. That's why you see these pharmaceuticals are doing okay in these bad economic situations. And Coca-Cola, you and I always go and drink our Coke or go to McDonald's and eat our food. But some of the companies are going to be hit hard. Example of it, as we said, is Apple. For example, if Apple is going to be hit hard, one reason to it is that it brings a lot of its components from other countries, and by doing so, then there will be taxes on those components. And when Apple wants to sell Apple iPhone to other countries, those countries are going to charge taxes, increase their taxes. Therefore, what happens is that the people buy less, iPhone, or less Apple computers, and again, the computers and iPhones are going to be more expensive if the taxes are going to go up on them. Therefore, that's the reason why a company like Walmart hasn't done anything, hasn't changed significantly. Because when the people lose their money, they cannot afford, they want to go and buy inexpensive stuff. Therefore they will look at Walmart. Although Walmart brings a lot of things from China that you and I have to pay more to buy those products, but at the same time Walmart is aimed at low income people, and the purpose also of this trade war is because the U.S. government wants to promote, the production inside the U.S., and rather than having a kind of importing more from outside. It has both advantages and disadvantages, because sometimes when you try to be protective of the businesses inside the U.S., some businesses might not be as efficient and other compared to other businesses. Therefore, if that's the case, then let them do it. If they have free labor, inexpensive labor in China, and they are making some goods and products at a very, very cheap rate, then, and if they want to do the same thing in the US, it might cost a fortune for the people to make them. Then sometimes free trade, they say let it be so. Therefore, as a business finance students, we want you to know, again, I want you to look at this, United Healthcare. As you all know, United Healthcare, it is a, more like an insurance company, health insurance company. It has gone up because the health insurance company doesn't have anything as much with the, overseas tax products to come to the U.S., although some health industries might be impacted in terms of bringing health equipment, but most of this health equipment, MRI things, are made in the U.S., although some parts of that might come from other countries. Therefore, this is a good way for you all to look at, and I have one advice for you all. My advice is that those of you who have invested in a stock market, today might be a good day to buy some stocks, the ones that have dropped, Apple, suppose, or others, anything, Amazon can be a good one. If you buy 7% cheaper, means that if you bought yesterday, if you wanted to buy one share of the Amazon, is that you had to pay $200. Now you are paying $182. You are buying it cheaper. And these are all because of this trade war. But at the end of the day, it might, things will settle, and hopefully they will go up. However, if this war is going to impact the U.S. economy in terms of recession, if it causes recession, then that might cause a little bit more problem for the stocks of these companies, because the companies cannot don't produce, and even the stocks might drop lower. But some of you who want to take a minor risk, it might be a good idea, to buy stocks of a company. Some of the students went, and, in your retirement, you may take a look. If you have a retirement account, some of the people have their retirement accounts all in more like a saving account, and maybe it might be a good way to look at it, and maybe say that, okay, I have, let's say, 10,000 in the saving, in retirement account. When I say saving, is that they are not in the stocks. Maybe it's time to go today, a good day to put maybe 10% of it in the stock market. 10% of 10,000 is $1,000. When you put 10% of it, you buy 3.41% cheaper, which means that is, a saving of 10% of 1,000 is 3%. I'm sorry, you buy 3% cheaper. 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. Then if you buy things 10% less than 1,000. 10% of 1,000 is $100. That means you buy $34. You will, if you buy them, you will buy, well, for that $1,000 investment, you pay $34 less, although it's not significant, but still it's something for you to think about. Therefore, the financial managers have to think, have to be worried about all these issues because they impact the company's decisions in terms of what they have to do, and in terms of taxes, in terms of, as you all know, now suddenly the financial manager, has to think, if trade war goes on and the taxes on Chinese goods have gone up by 10%. Imagine you bring lumber from here, because in West Virginia we deal a lot with the lumber. If the lumber is going to be more expensive coming from Canada, because US, I think, brings a lot of lumber from, and we put the taxes on them by 20%. The lumber, that you bought, you paid, $1,000 for it. Now, if 20% taxes are paid on them, therefore see how impactful it can be on your company that you have to buy. Therefore, as a financial manager, you have to be in the lookout. These will impact the interest rates and the companies you are dealing for. And therefore, I want you to all think about as a financial manager how these things might impact and even in your daily life. These things can impact because if you go to an expensive store, let's say if you go to some of the Harris Teeter company and try to buy some products, maybe that is more expensive for you than going now to Walmart or dollar store. Maybe today the stocks of Walmart are up by a little, not significantly. Therefore, we want you to understand these things and follow this news.